G'day and welcome to another episode of Tech Adept Crafts. My name is Anthony. This piece you can see was the September Patreon model called The Prisoner. September was a rather busy month for me and there was a lot of painting that went on for the Tale of Two Cities for Ian Lovecraft. And I did not get a chance to paint this one. But look at that model. In all its glory, we're going to do some justice to that. So this was available on Patreon, that is patreon.com/techadeptcrafts. Unfortunately not available anymore, but we do have plans for that in the future. But let's build a diorama around this amazing model by Ian. I'm going to make a real underwater coral scene for this. The model itself is so full of detail, there's so much happening in this that I really want to capture that essence of it being part of a larger scene. It does come in 3 pieces, which does make it easy to print, easy to paint. I've also printed up a large collection of other coral pieces which also come from Ian's Pirates vs. Cthulhu pack, which I think you can get on My Mini Factory. I'll put a link to that below. And I'm just trying to work out how to place these on a 2 foot by 1 foot base, or a 30 centimeter by 60 centimeter base. And just a heads up that this is not a complete video, this is a work in progress, as I am just not going to get time to finish it this month. I want to use this collection of foam to create the uneven and maybe layered sea floor, but as there are so many different heights and levels and thicknesses, I am planning this out before I start cutting anything. Trying to match things up, trying to work out what I can do to create levels, to create little pathways, to create a larger diorama. But that piece of The Prisoner, I want that to be front and center, but I'm actually sinking it down, like as if it's being almost sucked into the sea floor. Once I've worked out where they all go, draw around the base of each piece so I don't have to keep them on that foam while I cut it out. I know where they are and I can cut around it accordingly. Also mark it on the board itself and on the lower levels so that you know where you're going to be gluing them later. Remember that TAC supports charities. If you'd like to join us over on Patreon, know that your contribution will go towards helping Anala, which is an amazing organization which helps people with disabilities, such as Down syndrome, and they provide housing, they provide essential services for these wonderful people who are just in a vulnerable position within our society. It's only a little thing that we can help. This little handheld wire cutter is a great way for me to start shaping those sedimentary layers. The foam cuts so simply, and unfortunately it cuts beautifully outside of the camera angle, because of course I bumped it. The handheld cutter is great for getting those wavy lines for the cliff faces, but to get a nice straight edge for the sides of the diorama, I pull out the hot wire cutter, the Proxon hot wire cutter, and cut those really nice straight edges. To get an even cleaner edge, I'm measuring this one up just straight onto the board. I know that one's going to fit. As I put this jigsaw puzzle together and see how it all fits, I'd like to take a moment to thank all the people at Patreon who have supported TAC. all the people at the Hobby Goodness, you guys make sure that this channel keeps running, and I really appreciate your support. But to take a moment, I'd like to thank the Full Tacklers for their support. They go above and beyond there. Andreas Rocco, David Bennett, David Scaberis, Dwayne C. Israelson, Jean Maguire, Joel Cunningham, Judy Hayes, Kevin Goodrich, Christina B, Lopiana, Mousetrap Creations, Night Lurker, Riri, Sean McKinley, and Toggers. You guys are legendary. Using my rather dodgy hot glue gun, I am sticking all of that foam down, ready for the next stage. That next stage, however, will have to wait till the next video. There was just one little gap I could not get to line up, so I had this fine piece of foam which I just slotted into place and cut it to match. Turned out okay, and I only had to shift the coral piece a little bit to make it fit again. And that's all she wrote for today. Here are all of the coral pieces now in place. I'm marking them all down, and this is the scene. We have an underwater diorama. There is so much character in this piece. I really can't wait to paint it, but there was no way I was going to stick the coral pieces down before painting. That will make them almost impossible. Don't forget to hit like and hit subscribe so that you don't miss the next installment of this diorama. And if you have an idea of what sort of color coral you'd like to see in this, make sure you leave a comment down the bottom. But until next time, keep hobbying.